We are in the middle of a massive shift, a massive ascension. This is so huge. I can't even tell you. And this week has been such an interesting week for me. It was a very private week between me and God. There was a lot of reckoning, a lot of reconciling within myself. I could feel like I just really needed to sit with myself and be with myself. I was not in a giving capacity. I was in like a receiving capacity, receiving from myself. I just wanted to come on here and share some of the insights that I received this week from Spirit, through Spirit, about what we are currently moving through. There is a tremendous amount of energy surrounding the heart space. And I'm sure you can feel it to some degree. If you're more sensitive, you're going to probably feel it quite a bit. You could even notice like heart palpitations, or just like the rhythm of your heart kind of beating a little bit differently or off, or just in an unusual way. You might also experience times where it just like kind of thumps, like there's like a boom, like one bigger heartbeat, or stronger heartbeat, I should say. So there is something really, really profound happening with the heart space, and I'm seeing it like a rose opening, like the way it unfurls its petals. There is this huge heart awakening energy that's present, that has been present all week. And there has been this message coming through that it's like, don't shut it down. Don't shut it down. The other thing was a song, Adele's song, Skyfall. Great song, by the way. That, a specific line in that song, this is the end. Close your eyes and count to 10. Just this has been repeating in my mind like over and over and over. And I know that it has to do with these endings of cycles that I talked about in previous videos. I know it has to do with the end of those walls, those heart walls that we put up to protect ourselves, that we feel that we have to keep up to protect ourselves. And it is a dismantling of that. It is a crumbling, a falling apart. It's like heart energy is really profoundly coming online. And I could feel the shift in the collective. Like there is definitely a ripple effect of this feeling, where so many of us are choosing love over fear. And this is the test. This has been the test all along for us as a human family and as individuals, is can we choose love over fear? Can we choose to remain with our hearts open, even when we're doing scary things, even when we're doing things that are way outside of our comfort zone, even when we're doing things that we never expected to do, or things that we have to show up for that we didn't think we were going to have to show up for. It's like there's this message about keeping your heart open. And it's funny because I'm looking over there and it says hemp hearts. There's just an energy of hearts all around right now. And it's so crucial that we allow the vibration of the heart to ripple out in a stronger way than fear would. With the weather finally getting a little bit warmer here in southern Ontario, and with temperatures finally increasing, I've been definitely getting outside more. I finally got up the mountain. I finally was able to go and hike the escarpment the other day. Not for a long period of time because it was still quite muddy, but at least all the snow was gone and I was able to get up to a certain point. And just being outside was like, oh my God. It was like, wow. So here we go. This is therapy. Like I've just arrived at my therapy session. It is so tremendously healing. Wherever you live in the world, the more that you can get outside right now during these times, during these massive energetic shifts and changes that we're all moving through, the more you can get outside right now, the more you are actually going to stay in your heart space and not in fear. So it's like Mother Nature is so beautifully hardwired to the energy of love that every time that you feel lost and you are out of touch with that energy or out of touch with your own heart space, when you go out and you connect, that's where you connect, right? And that's where you reconnect to yourself. It's like a natural facilitator to help you connect with yourself, to help you tap back in to the love within you, to the divinity that is within you. And back to that message that I was receiving through song all week, literally all week for like maybe even more than a week. Even last week I was hearing it, just kept repeating in my head, this is the end. Close your eyes and count to 10. It's like leap of faith. That's what I keep seeing. It's like it is time to take that leap. It is time to jump off that spiritual cliff. Like it's time to really allow yourself to go for something that you haven't allowed yourself to go for before. You have this beautiful opportunity, very, very supportive, energetically supportive opportunity to just allow and surrender. I keep hearing it's like allow and surrender. Just let yourself surrender to love. Because the antidote to whatever problems, whatever pain, whatever issues that you are facing right now, the antidote to that is love. And I really had to reevaluate this week my own self-love, my own how I mirror that, how I embody that, how do I support myself? How do I love myself? And where do I fall short? And I want to read something from my journal because I wrote about 8 pages last night. It was just nonstop and I couldn't stop. And one of the questions I wrote down that I was receiving was, how am I not meeting my needs? How am I not meeting my own needs? And this could be pertaining to your body. How are you not meeting your mental needs? How are you not meeting your spiritual needs? How are you not meeting your physical needs? Because this is what Spirit wants us to focus on right now. This is what at least what I'm feeling guided to focus on, is to really, very honestly look at how I lack or fail to meet my own needs. And perhaps expect others to meet those needs for me. And yesterday, while I was writing these notes, it was the spring equinox. And my brain kept telling me, you should make a video. You should make a video. And I realized something about that statement. That statement has the word should in it. And anything that you are saying should to is going to come from force. And it doesn't come from the heart. When you are trying to force something, then you are not actually coming from the heart. When you are taking action from the heart, where you don't have that thought that I should fill in the blank, do this, say this, go here, whatever. When that's not there and you're just taking action, that's inspired action. That is in spirit action. That is heartfelt, it is authentic, and it is real. And so the more I was feeling that push that my ego, because I know it was my ego, pushing me and saying, should, you should make a video, you should make a video, the more I actually felt resistance to that. And so I kept writing, and I kept writing, and I allowed myself to just have some space from that should statement. And I allowed myself to tap into what feels best in this moment. And something that Spirit made very, very clear for me this week is that it is all about the feeling. You can think pretty thoughts all you want. You can even recite positive affirmations all you want. If it is not truly and honestly and authentically connected to the emotion, to the feeling, to the belief of those things that you are saying, and I'm talking like really fully believing, then they're kind of empty words in a way. They're not going to make the change in your life that you are hoping that it is going to make. So the point is, and what was highlighted to me the most this week, was that we are now entering a time where we are no longer going to be able to manifest from the mind, but rather we're going to be manifesting from the heart. And that everything that we do, every action we take, every thought that we have, every decision that we make, it needs to move through the filter of the heart. So if you have a thought, oh, I should do this. Do you see how naturally that comes? Oh, I should do this. You have to pause, give yourself a little bit of space, and just feel into that. What does that feel like? I should do this. What does that feel like? Does it feel restrictive? Does it feel tight? Does it feel like it has resistance attached to it? And the moment that you feel that it does, then you say, no, that is not what I should be doing. And I think what is going to happen, what I feel is going to happen, is that as we continue to evolve in terms of learning how to open our hearts or learning how to keep our hearts open if they are open, I think what is going to happen is that we're going to continuously choose things that are just going to feel good, that are going to feel in alignment, and it's going to be less shoulds and more I want to. So the other piece I want to talk about is alignment. We are being asked to align ourselves with love, to align ourselves with what we truly desire, to start taking steps to make that a reality so that it doesn't just remain a fantasy within the mind, but an actual embodied experience. And in order for us to bring ourselves back into alignment, we have to get really, really honest at this time about how we are not meeting our needs. And you can't lie when you're doing this. You can't sweep things under the rug. Like, really be honest with yourself when you're doing this exercise. Because the time for blaming or the time for, being a victim or pointing fingers at anyone else for your current experience right now is over. That's pointless. And that is not productive, right? It's not a conducive energy to continue in. So something I wrote down here, actually, in my journal that I'd like to share is that I cannot blame anyone for being as I am. It does nothing. All I can do is notice what is out of alignment within me, take responsibility for it, and bring it back into harmony. So it's not about who did what, who said what, or even what you said or did in the past. Now, at this point in the journey, it's not about that for us anymore. It is about how we choose to see ourselves. And something that I really sat with yesterday during the spring equinox was self-forgiveness. I sat with that energy for much of the day. I pondered upon that energy. I really kind of tuned into it. I tapped into it, and I felt so much guilt arise within me. So many different things arise within me. And I knew in that moment, I said, that is what I need to forgive. That is what I need to let go, because that is what is getting in the way of me fully loving myself, embracing all aspects of myself. So this is a time, like I said, of reckoning, of radical acceptance, of radical truth and radical honesty, where we have to be really willing to see all of the different ways in which we don't love ourselves, in all the ways in which we are not forgiving ourselves, all the ways in which we are bypassing. It's like there isn't any more space to keep going back to the comfort zone. There isn't, it's like, it's so boring, it is so expired. That cycle has ended. It's like we have no choice at this point but to move forward, but to take significant action that is going to move us forward in our lives. And this is something I recognize within my own life. For the changes that I truly want to experience this year, I'm going to have to significantly step it up and do things very differently on a daily basis. And that different is actually going to begin with my self-care, my self-love. I rewrote my schedule. I looked at the timing of things and how I would like to experience each and every single day. And that is the number one thing that I noticed is I put a tremendous amount of effort and time into the work and into giving, but I don't give a quarter of that to myself when it comes to receiving. And so that is what is not in balance in my life. That is something that I have to take responsibility for and that I have to bring back into balance. And I think this is what the equinox yesterday, because we had a balance of the light and the dark yesterday, it was an equal, right? And that is something that was coming through as a very strong and very loud message. And with the energy March 23rd and 24th, there is going to be new clarity coming through. And this isn't really a time for action. It is more a time for reflection. This is divine direction that is going to begin. It is also going to be equally important for us to be clear and for us to be paying attention significantly more to the divine guidance that we receive. And remember that divine guidance shows up in many, many different ways. And you have to be able to discern what messages are for you, what messages are coming through and through what avenues and in what ways. Is it through animals? Is it through nature? Is it through what somebody else says? Is it through different signs or number synchronicities? Like this paying attention is, I feel, crucial right now because we literally just began 2025 energetically yesterday. So the new astrological year began yesterday on the 20th of March. So this is an opportunity to harness the clarity coming through, to mirror it, to give it voice, and to give it airtime. The last thing that I want to mention here is that on March 22nd, the Venus is going to be Cazimi the Sun, which means that this is going to be a very benefic star point that will open something inside your heart. So there's this more broader, even wider expansion of the heart space as I've been talking about in this entire video. This is literally the energy that is here now and that is here to stay. So there's this massive heart opening energy this week specifically. And this heart opening energy is actually launching us into the future timelines. It is launching us into the new energy that we are actually seeding onto this planet, which is operating from the heart space, operating from a space of love, compassion, kindness. First and foremost, that love and that compassion and that heart expansion and heart opening needs to be directed inwards to ourselves. So that's why I said it's really important right now to look at how you are not meeting your own needs and getting very, very clear, very honest about that so that you can really clear everything out of the way so that you can really move into this heart expansion, heart opening energy that is, like I said, it's here to stay. This is the way of the future. And we are literally seeding the future right now with our actions, with our thoughts, with our feelings. And feeling is the key here. And that is going to be the most important aspect, the most important part to pay attention to, how you are feeling at all times. And it's not about squashing away or shooing away, feelings that don't feel good. It's about honoring and allowing yourself to feel those feelings when you feel them, when they arise, but also moving out of them, transitioning out of them, choosing to focus on better feelings, choosing to focus on the future that you are seeding, that change that you are desiring, that change that you are wanting to experience, that you are wanting to feel deeply in the heart space. That is where the attention and the focus needs to be redirected. when we do fall into those lower states, because it's never about dishonoring or pushing away or condemning or judging the lower vibrational feelings that we can feel sometimes, you know, the victim mode and all of those things. It's not about condemning them. It's just about recognizing that, like, I am allowed to feel like a victim, but I'm going to feel like a victim for 5 minutes, not for 5 days, right? So it's about connecting back into the power, connecting back into your own source of power, which will allow you to make decisions, which will allow you to make choices that really, truly honor you. So that is what I wanted to share right now. This is a very important message, actually, because we are, like I said, moving through such a big shift, such a massive change. This entire month is going to be so much about learning to open our hearts, learning to be vulnerable, learning to express our vulnerability in ways that we've never expressed them before, and even to people that we have never expressed them before. So think about how you would like to communicate differently, how you need to communicate differently with yourself, how you speak to yourself and the things that you say to yourself, and how would you like to communicate differently moving forward with others? How would you like to communicate differently with God, with Source, with your Creator? And how would you like to work with that Source creation energy to create an amazing and a truly spectacular life for yourself? Tap into the feelings of worthiness, tap into the feelings of deserving, and know that you were born worthy, that you were born deserving, and that you are, in every moment, no matter how bad you mess up in life, you are always deserving of good, of better, that you are always deserving of love, of compassion, of kindness. So show that kindness, that compassion to yourself, and I promise you everything is going to unfold in the most beautiful, in the most unimaginable, and in the most miraculous way. So that is my message for today's video. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you really take some time out to connect with this love that you feel inside of yourself, that you not only connect with it, not only tap into it, but really embody it and communicate it, express it in some kind of way. Expression here is going to be very, very important this weekend, because with this heart expansion energy that is unfolding today on the 22nd, this is asking us to express it. It's not to be held within, but to be expressed, to be experienced by not only yourself, but also by others. So thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, if you made it all the way through. If you would like to work with me, if you would like to book a coaching session, you can do that in the description box below. You'll find the links for that. I did not do a live this past Friday, but I will be doing one next Friday. So if you do have some type of an issue, some type of question, or something that you'd like to figure out that you're maybe stuck with, or that you're having challenges with, difficulties with, please send me an email. That email is also found in the description box below. Give me a little bit of backstory. Tell me a little bit about what's happening or what's going on and what your question is. And I will answer that question for you in the next live coming up on March the 28th, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for tuning in, for being here. I wish you a beautiful, blessed weekend, and I will see you very, very soon.